I'm going to cover how to sell final expense Facebook leads 100% over the phone from the comfort of your own home. So by the end of this video, you should have a very, very good understanding of how to handle a Facebook lead for final expense when it comes in, how to bring them through a script and a presentation, how to follow up with them, how to create drip campaigns through text messaging programs, and how to have them integrated into a CRM so that you don't have to sit there and call them with your cell phone every single time someone fills out a lead form. And I'm also going to give you some tidbits on how to create your own final expense Facebook ads. So let's dive right into it. First things first, response time. This is critical, 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 critical. I cannot stress this enough. You have to respond to these leads pretty much as soon as they come in. If someone fills out a lead form at 9 p.m., I would call that person. So when you purchase these Facebook leads, if you're purchasing them, what you want to do is make sure that the person you're buying them from gets you a notification sent to you via email immediately upon the person filling out that form for life insurance. You don't want to have to buy a spreadsheet of leads that were generated a couple days ago because these leads get stale very, very fast. Okay? You can also check out a video I have on how to make final expense Facebook ads, and you can integrate it into that. But don't go watch that video yet. You want to get through this first, and then you'll have a better understanding of how to handle them once they come in, because that video is long. So response time is very, very important. You have to respond to these leads within like 10 seconds of them filling out that form. And that's no exaggeration. So you want to plan your day. Be like, hey, whatever I'm doing, it can be a Sunday afternoon. When that lead comes in, you better call, because that could be a 2,000 AP deal sitting right there. You also want to make sure that you triple dial them when they come in. So what that means is, say I get a notification saying that the lead comes in. So I call immediately. They don't answer, I hang up, call again. They don't answer, I hang up, call again. So you want to triple dial, and then I wouldn't leave a voicemail. If they don't answer, I wouldn't leave a voicemail. I would send them a text message. I'd say, hey, this is Justin. You just requested some information on Facebook. I would love to get that over to you. It appears you qualify for some additional discounts and benefits. Can't wait to go over those with you. So you want to give them some sort of a reason to call you back. Not, hey, this is Justin. You want life insurance, call me. Or you wanted some final expense and quotes. Like, no. Be like, hey, I'd say, hey, this is Justin. You just requested some information on Facebook about, you want to find the ad too. So you want to understand what the ad is. If you're buying these leads, then you want to ask the company to show you kind of what the ad looks like or what the pitch is. Ask them if it's pitching insurance, final expense plans, or a burial program, because you want to have the text match the marketing. If someone fills out, we know how educated our clients are. They may think that a burial plan is not life insurance. So even though it is, but you know what I'm talking about. So if the marketing is for final expense life insurance and you say, oh, you requested information on burial programs, it may not totally click with them. So it may not, it's going to resonate, but not as much as you matching the text to the marketing. So you want to match the text to whatever's marketed, which is why running your own ads is very advantageous. Now, they're most likely not going to answer the text, but the reason why I say the text is because they're going to see it. They may not listen to a voicemail, but they're going to see a text message. Now, if it's a landline, you'll text them and it'll say it's a landline, you can leave a message. That's how you handle it if you call and they don't answer, because most likely they're not going to answer right away. But if they do answer right away, you want to bring them into the script. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to go over some text message automations that you can set up in a program called ClickSend, in a program called Zapier. What this will do is it'll automatically text the client when they fill out a lead form asking for this information. So when either you receive the lead on a spreadsheet from the lead company, or the lead is entered on a spreadsheet if you're creating your own ads, you can have a text message automation created that will automatically text the person and saying, hey, you qualify for some additional discounts and benefits, please reach out to us. Here's the number to call. All right? You want to have that in addition to the personalized message that you're sending out from your cell phone. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video. It's super easy and super simple to set up. I found that these generate a lot of inbound calls. I know as life insurance agents, we love the inbound phone call. Having these text message automations is going to generate some serious inbound phone call traffic for you. It did for me, And I can't imagine that it won't for you. Okay, so next here we're going to be going over the script. Okay, so here's the script I use. I call it the FB lead script, meaning Facebook lead script. And this is essentially, this is what I used to when I started selling final expense over the phone. I was selling Facebook leads. I was running my own ads, and I was just answering them as they came in. Like I said, within 3 seconds of them filling out that lead form, I was calling them and I was bringing them through this script here. So first off, right off the bat, the most important thing is that you smile while you dial. So you want to be in a good mood and have a good attitude and be enthusiastic when you're calling your clients, because they're 100% going to hear that. Now, like I said before, a lot of these people may be grouchy, they may be grumpy, they may be sitting on Facebook all day, they may be triggered from a Facebook post. A lot of times people who are on social media all day have some mental health issues, and maybe not like permanent, you know what I mean though. Like rarely do you sign off social media and feel better. YouTube's the only one that I've found where you go on and you feel better after watching it. Facebook, Instagram, it's all drama. So right here we have funny pictures, memes, gratitude list, and think happy things while you dial. The prospect will feel the energy and want to be excited to help them. And you want to be excited to help them. Think of all your family and friends you'll be able to help once you're making serious money, and think of how much you're going to help this family by getting life insurance in place for them. So I always like to take that approach. Like, I'm grateful for what I have. I think I'm in a good mood. I watch some funny things. I think happy thoughts, and I keep my why strong. So I keep my why strong. My why is my family, my friends, my higher power, and I want to be able to take care of everyone in my life and mankind as a whole. To be honest, I want to help humanity in its entirety. So you want to have all those things. You have to be in a good mood when you make these calls. So let's get right into it. So we have the greeting. So they call and say the guy's name is, or say the woman's name is Betty. So I'd say, hi, Betty, or hi, is this Betty? Say yes. Say, hey, Betty, my name's Justin with Senior Benefits. And the reason for my call is that you recently filled out a form on Facebook requesting information on now burial programs or final expense programs or whatever the marketing is in the ad. That's what you want to say. On final expense programs, and you put down your favorite hobby is fishing. Is that right? Now, on the Facebook lead form, there's going to be a section that asks for favorite hobby as an answer to a security question. This is very, very important that this is there, favorite hobby or favorite color, because it helps the person. Favorite hobby is honestly the best one because they attach an emotion to it. So when someone thinks about their favorite hobby, they get excited and they get happy about it. So when the lead form asks for their favorite hobby, they're going to get excited while they fill out the form. And that means that there's going to be an emotional attachment to them filling out that form, which means there's a better chance they're going to remember doing it, and it will ring a bell. So you can say, is that right? What I found the best thing actually is to say, does that ring a bell? Okay, does that ring a bell? I'm going to save this here. And if anybody wants a copy of the script, you can just email me at jve@thejve.com. That's jve@thejve.com. Check in the description for my email. So ask them something original or exciting about their hobby. Oftentimes it's something that you used to do but can no longer do. Connect with them here if you can. Make it funny, not forced. And if you can laugh, laughter is the best way to quickly drop a defense. They say laughter is the shortest distance between two people. So now what's going to happen here is we're calling them. They're probably not going to want to talk about life insurance. That's just how most people are, right? Most people do not want to talk about this stuff with us, which is okay. We can expect them to. No one likes life insurance except for insurance agents. So if they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine, then you, does that ring a bell? Yeah. And then say, like, you can ask them about the hobby, or you can just say, you put down your favorite hobby is this, is fishing. What type of fish do you fish for? So you don't even have to really say, does that ring a bell? You can say whatever their hobby is. You can ask them a question about it. Now, they may be like, well, that's not my favorite hobby or whatever. And at that point, you just say, oh, well, I wonder how that got there then. And then you go to the next part. I'm a state licensed field underwriter, and my job is to go over the features of the programs, determine your eligibility, and show you how to apply if you're interested. All I do is ask you a series of health questions to determine which discounts you may qualify for. And I compare rates from over 50 A-rated carriers, some of which you probably already heard of, and then give you the most affordable option. So essentially, my job is to save you the time and hassle of having to shop around for coverage. Does that sound good? And what I would like to put here instead now is sound fair enough. Okay, sound fair enough. Now, what's going to happen at any point in here, there's a few ways that this could go. They could be like, oh, yeah, awesome. Okay, the rare case is they're going to say, amazing.
Yeah, I remember that. I love my hobby, and let's keep going. Let's talk about insurance. The chances of them wanting to talk about insurance with you are a lot higher when you get in touch with them in the first 10 to 30 seconds of them filling out that lead form, at least in the first minute. If you wait a couple minutes to call them from when they fill out that lead form, the conversion chances go way down. That's why if you're buying these leads from a vendor, you want to make sure that you're getting the leads emailed to you. Okay, I highly recommend learning how to set up your own ads. I have a video on it on. I have a video on it. You can ask me for the. I'm going to reference it in the description. But also, I know someone who has a really, really good course on making your own final expense Facebook ads. Okay, so next, assuming that they may give us pushback here too. Okay, so they may give us pushback. At which point, I have this website here. Okay, it's a rebuttals website. I'm going to put this in the description as well. All you have to do if they say, I don't remember, I never did that, say, hey, I totally understand. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday. And then go in and ask them a question about their hobby. Or I understand, and that's completely my fault. It's taken us a while to get back to everybody because of the overwhelming response rate we've had. But I'm so glad to finally get in touch with you. Okay. Now, if they just filled out the form and they're like, I never did that, be like, hey, well, you know what? Maybe someone did it who you're important to then. So I'll make sure I get you this information. And then you want to just go right into the asking them about their hobby or anything else on the form and the state that they said they live in, or if their street name sticks out to you, or if their date of birth sticks out to you, anything like that. You want to start a conversation on something that they're more familiar with. And then you want to jump into the fact finding. Okay, so here we have the fact finding. So once we get through the greeting and we push through any resistance that someone has, we're going to move on to the fact finding. Now, just another word of warning on the greeting. You have to have great enthusiasm, energy, and excitement, or there's more of a chance they're going to hang up on you and not want to talk to you. You have to be prepared for them to tell you they're not interested, or they already have insurance, or they don't remember and they never did that. Use that rebuttals page that I have there. When they tell you one of those things, click the button, read the response, and then get right into the script again. So when people give you that pushback, a lot of times they're honestly lying. A lot of times, like I've had so many clients say they have insurance and then they don't even have a policy. And I've had people who say not interested, and then they end up saying, wow, thank you so much. I've been thinking about this forever. So you got to understand that when people give you pushback in the beginning, it's because they're scared to talk to you. Now, waiting to call the lead after it fills out the form does not lower their chance of, does not lower their fear. Okay. Still call them right away as soon as possible when they fill out that form. But you want to work on the greeting and you want to say it slowly as well and be super excited and enthusiastic. This is the most important part of your presentation, I truly believe. And I think this is where most agents drop the ball in the greeting. If you want to role play or you want some consultation or consulting or coaching on your script in your presentation for telesales, just send me an email, jve@thejve.com. I'll do like a 15-minute consultation with you for free, no charge, and I'll help you work out any kinks. So fact finding. So we say, great. Now these programs typically pay out to your beneficiaries within 48 hours after your passing or after receiving the necessary paperwork to help your beneficiaries make your final arranges or arrange your final wishes. Now, is there anyone in particular who would be taking responsibility for these arrangements if the good Lord called you home early? Now, this is going to be their beneficiary. You want to use this as a way to build the need. You want to reference the beneficiary and how nice of a thing that this person is doing for them. So they could say, oh, yeah, it's going to be my son. Now, you want to get the name. So you say, oh, what's his name? Now, if they say, this is a buying signal right here. You want to listen out for this. If they say, my son Johnny, Jonnie or Johnnny or whatever it is, or my son John, John or Jon. If they start spelling the name and they give you a last name and they're like really intent on making sure you get the name right, that's a buying signal that they want a policy because they already own it in their head mentally. And now they're saying, hey, John, this person's going to get it. So if they get really into the beneficiary right off the bat, that's the buying signal that you get someone who's going to buy right on the line right there. So you want to use this as a way to build the need. You're doing it. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I wish more people thought about their children the way you do. And then now here too, you want to ask a follow-up question about their beneficiary. So, what do they do for work? Do you have any grandkids? Wow, it looks like you raised an amazing family there. What's one of the nicest memories you have with Johnny? So, and then in any of these responses that they give, you want to share something about your life so that you can relate to them. So, example, say, oh, Johnny, cool, cool. What's he do for work? Oh, he's a mailman. Oh, wow, that's so cool. You sounds like you raised a good son. They don't just hire anybody. My uncle's a mailman too. Has Johnny ever shared any crazy stories with you about being a mailman? I know my uncle has told me a couple funny things, and then they may go into it or they may not. But that's what I mean by sharing some things and building a relationship, because you don't just want to be an insurance agent. You want to be someone that they can talk to and relate to as well, and someone that they'll like. Okay. Now you say, well, look, you should congratulate yourself on taking this step for Johnny. He's going to be extremely grateful that you're thinking about getting a program like this in place for him. And the goal here is to make it as easy as possible on him, right? And asking this question results in a yes answer to help the client gain comfort in saying yes to you. So you want to get them saying yes off the bat. And you also want to them pitching their beneficiary having to plan their funeral cremation. You want them to picture this stuff in their head, because that's the pain point that you're trying to solve for them. And the more painful someone feels, the less certain they have to be to make a decision. And you say, I couldn't agree more. Now when the time comes, have you thought about whether you'd prefer a funeral or a cremation? And regardless of what they say, praise them. Some people say, oh, I'll never get a funeral, I'll be cremated. Or I'll never get cremated, I'm going to have a funeral. Regardless of what they say, oh, wow, awesome. That tends to be the popular theme here. Now, my mom had this, or my grandmother had this, or my XYZ individual person had this. So then you want to share a story if you can, or you need to. This is going to help us justify a close in the end. If they give us any pushback or they don't pick a coverage amount when we quote them right away, it'll help us be able to justify a close. Now we say, so what we do here for our clients is we give them a final wishes planning guide, so you can lay everything out step by step for this person to make it as easy as possible, okay? Now what I would do once you get a sale is I would find a final wishes planning guide online. Just Google final wishes planning guide. I'm going to see if I can put one in final wishes planning guide. I'm going to see if I can put one in the description of the video, and you can just print this out and put your name on it and send it to your clients so that they can fill it out for their beneficiaries to have. This is also a great way for them to have your contact information. That way, if an agent ever goes to try to replace the policy, you can put some notes in there like, hey, if someone ever comes to try to replace this policy, it could be a violation of insurance law or whatever, because it very well could be. So say, do not replace the policy at any cost without contacting me. You can put that in the final wishes planning guide in the welcome kit. But now on to the next step. Now we ask them how tall they are, how much do they want to weigh. I like to say, how much do you want to weigh today? And if it's a guy, no matter how tall or heavy he is, they say, oh, solid muscle. They always laugh about it. And now in the last 12 months, have you used tobacco or nicotine? This is where we get into health questions to qualify and figure out what they qualify for and what program we're going to quote and present them. Now we say, okay, and do you have a history of any heart, liver, kidney, or lung issues? Now, if they answer yes, ask them to elaborate. We need the condition, when it happened, and if they're taking medications for it. And next, do you have any history of cancer, heart attack, stroke, COPD, or diabetes? And if they say yes, ask them to elaborate. We need the condition, when it happened, if they're taking meds for it. So these are some follow-up questions here that you can ask if they had cancer, heart attack, stroke, COPD, or diabetes. If you don't know what those medical conditions are, Google them, look them up. It'll help you understand exactly what you're talking about with your clients. And there are some guaranteed knockout questions, like if they're on oxygen, then they're going to go guaranteed issue for the most part, from my experience. And ask these questions to make sure that you have the proper underwriting. And then take out your health cheat sheet, look at the agent guides for each carrier, and figure out what they qualify for. And you want to ask any medications to correctly evaluate eligibility. Now remember, the medication is not as important as what they take it for, okay? So someone can take albuterol for asthma, which is okay with most insurance carriers, or they can take it for COPD, which 90% of insurance carriers out there are going to say, that's a big deal. We're going to rate you for that. We're going to give you a higher premium and may give you a modified or return to premium program. Okay, so it's important to ask those questions and find out what they take medications for. Use the agent guides, use the cheat sheet your IMO provides to you to figure out what someone qualifies for. Now, I would only pick 2 to 3 carriers if you're selling telesales. I wouldn't pick 5 or 6 or whatever, because it becomes a mess. So pick like 2 or 3 carriers. I recommend American Amicable, Prosperity, and then a guaranteed issue company, because the underwriting is just like extremely versatile. Now, next, appraisal of current coverage. So we want to see what they have now. All right, so great. Now, do you currently have any type of prepaid burial or life insurance? Now, if they do, you say, oh, awesome. I love working with proactive people. That'll be huge help for Johnny. What do you have in place? You get the rate, so their monthly premium, how much insurance they have, when they took it out, the benefit, stuff like that. Now, what I always recommend doing, if you can, is call the insurance carrier that they have that plan with and do a policy review. Now, if they've had the policy for like 20 or 30 years, then you may fall into a situation where they have a universal life and not a whole life, and it's going to lapse soon. So it's good to do a policy review in that situation. Or if they recently got something, it's good to do a policy review, because a lot of times people don't get what they think that they applied for. It happens more often than not. Well, not more often than not, but more often than I'd like to see. And this is huge too. So remember, in the beginning, I told you someone may tell you they already have coverage. Now, if you look at that rebuttals page, I'm going to bring it up here again. If we look at this rebuttals page, it says, I completely understand. Most people I speak with already have coverage. However, they find this information really valuable. So we say that if someone in the greeting tells us that they have insurance already, and then we move right back into our script. Most new agents fall into the trap of asking, well, what do you pay? I mean, I see veteran agents do this. What do you have? What do you pay? How much coverage is it? Right in the greeting. You're setting yourself up for failure, because a lot of people will tell you that they have insurance and they don't have it, and they're going to lie to you in the beginning. So you wait until here to ask them about the insurance that they have, because now you've built trust with them. They like you. Hopefully you've made them laugh a little bit, cracked a few jokes here and there. Now you ask them about insurance, because you'll be surprised how many people tell you they have insurance in the greeting, and then you get to here and they're like, well, I mailed in the form. Or, well, I got the form in the mail. I filled it out. I haven't sent it back yet. Or, someone called me. I planned on talking to them at some point. And it's like, okay, well, so you don't really have anything in place. You're just kind of in the process. Oh, yeah. So that's why it's important to wait until here. And then if you need to, do a policy review with the other company. The reason why this is important is because, say they have a program they're on a blood thinner. Now, a lot of carriers will give someone a modified, expensive return of premium plan if they're on a blood thinner. American Amicable here at this point does not. So say someone's like, oh, I have this amazing program with the XYZ company, and that company is going to automatically give them a high premium and a modified plan if they're on a blood thinner. Trust me, do not be the bearer of bad news and tell them that they do not have a day one plan, and that extremely amazing benefit they think they got is not, they don't have it. Do not tell them that. They're going to be pissed off, and they're going to hold it against you, because you're the bearer of bad news. Messengers get shot. If you ever watched the movie 300, you will know this. Messengers get shot. So let the other insurance company be the bearer of bad news, and let you be the saving grace that helped them understand that they got screwed over or they got lied to. Okay? Always do a policy review. And this could happen too. Say someone's like, yeah, I got a policy 10 years ago. I pay $40 a month for like twice the amount of insurance that you're quoting me right now. Cool. Well, let's just do a policy review, make sure everything is intact. Now, how you do a policy review is like this. Say, great. Say they're like, I have a program with XYZ company. Like, hey, that's awesome. I do a ton of business with XYZ company. I know a few people in their back office. Let's give them a call here, do a policy review for you. That way you're up to date on everything. And hey, maybe there's some things that have to be changed, like an address or some other things in there, that some details of your plan. It's just good to do that once every couple of years. Let's give them a call. You look up the phone number for that company and merge them in a three-way call, and just do some digging so that you can get a representative on the phone who can help you understand that person's policy. Because say they do have that policy that they've had for 10 years, in the premium, they're getting twice the amount of coverage for the same premium. You could do a policy review, and their cash value is, they've taken a ton of loans against the cash value, so their death benefit is not nearly what it should be. You can run into that situation. Or maybe they have a term policy, and they didn't think it was a term. They're like, oh my gosh, da, da, da. So policy reviews, I've gotten so many sales doing policy reviews, it's huge, okay? Now, after you do that, we've done the greeting, the fact finding, we've appraised their current policy. We have an idea what they qualify for. At this time, you should have an idea of what carrier you're going to go with, and you want to present the program. So you say, okay, so great. I have some awesome news, Betty. It looks like we'll probably be able to get you approved with whatever company you're going with for one of their top tier programs. And based on your current health profile, this company will give you the best coverage with the most benefits, all for the lowest rate in whatever state Betty lives in. That means you get the most bang for your buck. In addition to that, it appears you qualify for some additional benefits or for some other things. It's kind of redundant. And then what you're going to do here, you're going to cover some features of the plan. So you want to cover if it's a whole life and how that's going to help them. So I have an example down here. This is a whole life policy, meaning that your rate will never increase due to age or health, and the company can never cancel your coverage. Now, some companies raise rates every 5 years or cancel coverage by age 85. So it's important to know that your family will need it. That you'll have this when your family needs it most, no matter what. Does that make sense? Yes. Talk about cash value, talk about a terminal illness or living benefit if they have it, how that's going to help them. Paint a little bit of a picture. Just take a few minutes to brush over these things so that the client knows exactly what they're going to be spending their money on. This helps build value so they can say in their head, yes, I have a problem. This policy is going to solve that problem. And then I get into a trial close. I say, look, Betty, now, and I get really enthusiastic when I'm presenting these, and I get pumped up and excited about them. Because if I'm not pumped up and excited about them, how can I expect the client to be? Okay, so next part here, trial close. This is just testing the waters. I say, hey, so Betty, considering the additional benefits you qualify for, would it make sense to get a program like this in place today if we can get something that fits your budget? And they could say, oh, no, I have to do this. I have to talk to this person, that person. Say, okay, no problem. But a lot of times they're going to say, yeah, it would. So you say, okay, now the last thing I want you to do while I'm crunching these numbers is take out a pen and piece of paper. Okay, my personal number for my clients is this. Please write that down. And I'm going to send you an email and a text message with my contact information. You can text them right there on the phone with your contact information. You can even do that in the beginning of the presentation if you like. Now, if we're able to get a program in place today, I'd love to reach out to Johnny with your permission and go over the details. And in addition, I'll send out the final wishes planning guide and the welcome kit and help you set it up however you'd like. So I'll walk you through that if you'd like me to. Now, you want to quote 3 rates. You can quote around $100 a month, $70 a month, or $40 a month, or you can quote however you want, okay? Sometimes what I like to do is quote around 150, around 100, and around 70 or 80. That way I get like a minimum of 1,000 AP on the lowest quote, okay? Now, if you give it 3 quotes and you say, which of these best fits your needs? And then you just shut up and don't say anything after you run through the quotes. And they may pick one. At that point, if they agree, you just start asking the medical questions on the application just to confirm that they qualify for it and start writing the application. And you're going to have to learn the application process with those carriers. Now, if they give you pushback, which is most likely what's going to happen, what you're going to do is you're going to want to use the rebuttals page that I have to overcome the objection. So you're going to go down and you're going to see objections in the close on here, objections in the close. Talk to kids. I don't make drastic shit. So if they're like, I got to talk to my kids, you can use any of these responses here. What my favorite one to use is down here. I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you a question. Does the idea make sense to you? Do you like the idea of a program like this for XYZ person? So I also have a video that it covers every objection in final expense telesales. So check out that video. It's in the description. You can also check out the tag right above here. It's how to cover every objection in final expense telesales, and it's going to cover from literally every single objection that you're going to run into and how to overcome them. So I'm not going to go into handling every single one here because I have a full video on that. Check that out. But that's what you have to do at that point. And then at that point, you make a sale, you want to follow up with them. If you don't make a sale and you're like really close and you think that they're going to be a buyer, put them on that red zone hot list that I talked about and make sure that you stay in touch with them and you follow up with them consistently. So this script made me a ton of money here. I think that anybody can use this and make sales and selling final expense Facebook leads over the phone. This is my original Facebook lead script. If you'd like a copy of the script, just email me at jve@thejve.com. If you'd like to do a consultation, 15-minute consultation, I'm pretty busy through the day, but I'm willing to help you out. If you want a 15-minute consultation, just reach out to me, jve@thejve.com. Ask me for a consultation, and we'll go through it. At this time, I am doing consultations. At some point in my career, probably not going to be doing the free consultation anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. But at this point I am, and this is April 6, 2022. So I hope this helped you guys. And this script is awesome.
Whenever you are presenting something to someone, just like I'm speaking to you today, I have to understand my audience. Okay, I have to understand what my audience wants and desires and needs, and what their pain point is, and I have to deliver on that and solve a problem. Same thing goes for the leads that you get for final expense Facebook leads. You have to understand what problem the lead wants solved. What problem does that individual want solved? What is that person's buying behavior? How do they shop for things? So what you got to understand is most of the people who fill out these forms are going to be over 55. Okay, so they're part of a little bit of a different generation than the average insurance agent. They are not looking for the instantaneous Amazon Prime delivery. They're okay with taking their time, as you know. That's why they're 70 and don't have any life insurance, right? They put it off forever. They're also an online shopper, so they're going to be buying things online. So keep in mind that a lot of times when people buy things online, they're a little bit wary of interacting with people in face to face. I buy things online because I don't want to have to go to the store and deal with people. So these leads may be filling out a form online because they don't necessarily want to have to deal with the person, although they do have to. So you have to understand that when you call them and you have to separate yourself from them. We're going to be going over in the script how you can do that and how you can get someone to want to talk to you very, very quickly. And they also have a problem. They have a pain point that they want to solve, or they would not be filling out this lead form. So you got to understand, when you call someone, they may be scared to talk to you. They may give you some BS about how they're not interested. They already have a program, whatever it may be. Oh, I did it by mistake. But trust me, there's a pain point there that you can help them solve. Now, what you want to do is make a hot list. So a hot list for prospects who are close to the finish line. So after you get through a whole presentation, if you have a client who is a potential client who hasn't bought yet for whatever reasons, but you know that they're really close to buying. Now, this could be because they couldn't find their bank information, or maybe the decision maker wasn't there, but you know that it's probably going to be a deal. They didn't have something on hand that they needed to complete the deal. A perfect example, say you call Betty. Betty's at her daughter's house. Her whole family wants her to get insurance, but her checkbook's at home. Okay, and the daughter doesn't have a bank account or whatever, so you can't get it set up that way. That type of prospect becomes your hot list, like your red zone. It's like in football. You're like within 20 yards of goal line, scoring, making that sale. So you want to have Betty's name and number on a list so that you can call, and every single day you want to follow up with that person, and multiple times a day. Be like relentless with the follow-up, because don't get disappointed if they don't answer the first time you call back. You want to anticipate that. You want to anticipate that you're going to have to follow up with someone about 5 to 12 times before they pick up the phone again. So that's totally okay if they don't answer, but be on top of them, because that's going to start their buying cycle. They're probably going to be shopping around. They're going to be looking around. They're going to be filling out other forms online, seeing if they can get a better deal. Maybe someone tells them, ooh, that company's no good. So you have to be there to earn the trust and build that trust up and be on top of them. Send them text messages and follow up. Okay, call them. If they don't answer, send them a text. I would do that multiple times a day. Text message is a great way to communicate with your clients and your prospects. Please, please, please use text messages. Use your personal phone, or use like Google Voice. You go to voice.google.com and create an account. You can use that and send them a text right through there. But I would use my cell phone, because what happens when clients use your cell phone is they're going to store your number. Ask them to store your number too. Because say you have someone who's in the red zone and they don't buy and they somehow fall off the map. I get calls now from people 2 to 3 years ago that I gave my number to. They're calling me asking me to add insurance, to get a new policy, or hey, I never got anything, but I'm ready now, whatever the case may be. If you look up, you're going to see a card that says, a little thing you can click on that says how to make final expense Facebook ads. Now you can click on that and open that in another browser. What that is my video on how to make final expense Facebook ads. There's also a link to the video in the description, and at the end of this video, you're going to see icon pop up where you can click and watch that video directly. That's going to walk you through A to Z how to create your own final expense Facebook ads, and you can integrate that with this video right here so that you can maximize your sale on those leads that come through. So there is a great CRM available that can have your leads directly integrated into it, where someone fills out a form and they request the information. Now this lead will get integrated directly into the CRM, so that it's just stored right in there. So you don't have to enter the information yourself. Okay. Now you can set up that integration with Zapier, or I can refer you to someone who can set up the whole CRM for you and have that whole integration and everything set up so that when that person fills out that form online, it's going to get put right into the CRM for you. So I can have someone set up that whole thing for you. We can have it set up so that you have the text message automations in there planned and mapped out. So we can do that for you, or you can, I can refer to someone who can do it for you, or you can buy VanillaSoft. It's $150 a month, and then you can learn that stuff on your own. And you just apply the same principles that we applied for the text message automation to VanillaSoft in setting up the integration for the lead to be entered directly into VanillaSoft from Zapier.
Okay, so this is ClickSend. It's clicksend.com. You can create an account here. and it's a text message automation system. So you create an account on here, and then you have to buy a number. You go into numbers here, you can buy a number, it's like $2. Then you will have to load money in to send out text messages, but they're super cheap. They're like a penny, half a penny each or something like that. So I'm going to show you how you set up the automation for ClickSend and have it integrated into your Facebook ads once you have this set up, or to whatever, however you're getting. It can be if they're sent in an email or they're added onto a spreadsheet, or however it may be. You just have to set up the integration in the way that will read whatever source they're coming from. I'll show you that in a second here. So what we're going to do, we're going to create an action. Well, no, first we're going to create a list. So we're going to go to contacts, and then I'm going to create a list. So I'm going to call the list Facebook final expense example. Cool. So right there, Facebook final expense example. That's the list. Now we're going to go to automation and click on automations. And then we're going to go to action, add actions. And this is going to be initial inquiry first response. Okay, we'll just do that. And it's going to be hello, and then we'll do first name. Thank you for your interest in the state-approved burial programs. It appears you qualify for some additional discounts and benefits. Please reach out to us at, put your number, if it's 877-888-8888, whatever your phone number is, with application number 257, so we can confirm your eligibility. Okay, so that you're going to save that. That's like an example of what the text would be. Okay, so someone's going to fill out the lead form, and then boom, they get this text right when they fill it out. So as an automation, in case you can't get in touch with them, or say they do it after hours or you're not working or whatever it would be, or maybe you're on the phone with a client already and you want them to still get a text and you want them to be able to call in or whatever it may be. So that's the initial inquiry first response. That's what we have it there. Now we're going to do it a contact-based automation. So you want to add automation down here. We're going to go initial inquiry first response. We'll just name it the same thing. Where the contact list we're going to put is the final expense Facebook example. And then we're going to have the action be initial inquiry first response, okay? So you want to add that action and you're going to save. And then you can do it 1 minute. However, 1 minute after they get that text. Unfortunately, you can't do like seconds. I wish I could do like 0.5, but it has to be like value must be an integer, and it can't be 0. Oh, shoot, it can be 0. Cool. So initial inquiry first response. So it's, well, actually, it automatically defaulted to 1 minute. So what's going to happen here is we're going to set up a Zapier system so that when someone fills out the lead form, or if you get the leads added to a spreadsheet from the marketing company, they're going to have an integration set up for you. We're going to set it up so there's a glue between the two programs so that once someone becomes a lead, it gets automatically added to that list we talked about, the final expense Facebook list. And once someone's added to that list, it'll be a contact-based automation. So it says right when someone's added to the list, it starts this text message chain. So we're going to go to Zapier. Okay, Zapier.com. You're going to want to create a profile for this. You click Create Zap. Okay, I'm going to put the links for ClickSend and Zapier and all that stuff in the video too. So ClickSend, Zapier. Okay. So what we're going to do here, I'll give you 2 examples. First, I'm going to do if it's a Facebook lead form. So we're going to go Facebook lead ads, and I'm going to do it with, I'm running ads for an ultrasound company, ultrasound clinic, but I'm just going to show, it's going to be the same exact thing. So say you hook up your Facebook account to it, and then it's going to be the ad account is under Zach Galloway. He's one of my agents. The page is going to be Mementos 3D, 4D, and we're going to use their Easter 2022 lead form, and you just click continue. So what we're doing here is we're clicking that when Facebook lead ads is a program, and we're going to the trigger event is the new lead. Okay, so a new lead is created, and that triggers the next steps here. Zapier is it's a glue between all these different programs. So the trigger is that when the lead form Easter 2022 is filled out on this page on Facebook, that it starts this whole process here. So we're going to test the trigger, and it's going to pull the most recent data. Okay, cool. Then we go down here. Now we're going to make this text automation final expense. We're just going to name this. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect click send to this. So click send. Choose event. We're going to not send SMS. We're going to go to create contact. Creates a new contact in a list. Okay. So we hit continue. Choose account. We're going to go click send. So you want to hook up your account to it. And then you pick the contact list that you want this to add a contact to. So what happens is when someone fills out a lead form, it's going to automatically enter them into this list. So we're going to go to final expense Facebook example, or Facebook final expense example. And then it's going to go first name. And then what happens is when you click in these drop downs, it shows you the fields that are available from the Facebook lead form. So whatever questions you have them answer, favorite color, favorite hobby, all this stuff, it's going to go in here. Now in my video, how to make final expense Facebook ads, which you'll see somewhere, you'll see how to access that somewhere in this video. It's going to show you a little bit more in depth of this, but this is how you create the text message automation. So it's going to be first name. I don't have first name. I just had full name, but really the most important thing is the phone number. Okay. And then hit continue. And there we go. Test and continue. And it could not be sent to, because there's no phone number, right? Because it says phone number, test lead, dummy phone number. Okay. But once it is there, it will, this is all you have to do. So you connect Facebook to click send through Zapier, and it's automatically going to do that. Now, it's another way that we may be able to do it. Say you're not generating your own leads and you have someone else doing it. What you're going to probably do is they'll put the leads on a Google Sheet. So new spreadsheet row, triggered when a new row is added to the bottom of a spreadsheet. Trigger when a new row is added to the bottom of a spreadsheet instant. So this is when someone creates a new spreadsheet row. So a lot of times, if you guys have ordered Facebook leads before, you know this comes on a Google Sheet, and it's going to be like all the information from the lead is added there. Okay. So it's going to be, I'm just going to use this sheet here, and it's going to be the same thing. So what we're just going to do, like say Momento's lead form here, worksheet is going to be, we'll just do $59 lead. Test the trigger. And we're going to go to create a contact. And what it's really going to be is the first name is going to be, there's no, I don't know if we have a name. Yeah, we're going to name, okay. And then the phone number is just going to be the phone from the spreadsheet. So it's the same thing. If you're generating your own leads, then you want to have it from the Facebook lead form. If you're having leads generated for you, then you want to have it come from the spreadsheet, so that right when they enter that name in Google Sheet, they get sent the text message. Because what happens is the lead company is probably having the information entered into Google Sheets from this exact program right here. Okay, they're just kind of giving you access to the Google Sheet that their ads are putting the leads onto. So that's what you do. So what's going to happen is this program's the glue, then someone's going to fill out a lead form, they're going to become a lead, and then they're going to be sent these messages. They're going to be sent this message right after they fill the form. And that's going to prompt a lot of inbound calls coming in from Facebook. And it's also going to help with your follow-up campaign. And then you can just create new ones. Like you can do like after one day. It's going to be after 1 day of being added to this, then you can create a new action automation. So it can be like, hey, you filled out, you requested some information 24 hours ago. Before these programs expire, reach out to us, right? So it's just a drip campaign. So that is how it works. Now, word of advice with this, you'd want to set up some sort of TCPA compliance for text messaging. You just have to make sure it's in your privacy policy. Facebook's always changing its rules on that. They can have like a checkbox, or in your privacy policy, you can put like, by clicking yes, or at the end you can say by clicking yes, you are confirming to receive automatic text messages from whatever your agency is named. So that's how you set up a text message automation. These are huge. These help you generate a lot of inbound calls from Facebook leads, even days after they filled out the form, by creating these automations.
Now, what you're going to want to do is see this card right here, how to make your own final expense Facebook ads. You want to click on that and watch that video next, because that's going to walk you through how to make your own Facebook ads for final expense from A to Z so that you can become an independent agent and not have to be taxed on those lead costs anymore, because you're paying double, if not triple, what those leads actually cost.